we get to learn all about insects. So I want you guys to go grab your insect baggie if you don't already have it. All right, let's get started. So up here I have some vocabulary for you guys. The first one is antennae. So if you want to look right up there, the antennae, a pair of long, thin sensory appendages. Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis, the process of transformation from a young insect to its adult form. Camouflage, to hide by blending into one's surroundings. Mimicry, to look like another animal for protection. All right, so that is some vocabulary that you guys are going to be hearing in this. All right, so you guys have your All About Insects book, so we're quickly going to read through that, and you guys can read through it later. All About Insects. Insects have 6 legs and 2 antennae. Many insects have wings and can fly. Insects go through metamorphosis. Insects communicate with sound, sight, and smells. Insects have protection. All right, looking up at our screen, I'm going to read you some more information about insects that will help us fill in our Can Have Art page. Is that an insect? Does it have 6 legs, a 3-part body, and antennae? If so, then yes, it is an insect. Insects are the largest, most diverse animal group in the world. There are over 900,000 different types of insects alive in the world. So this down here explains that spiders have 8 legs, not 6. They are not an insect. And this one says worms do not have 3-part bodies. They have 1 long tube. They are not an insect. Insect bodies. So insects use their antennae to smell. Insects have compound eyes, which allow them to see in many directions. Some insects have wings. Not all of them. Winged insects have 2 pairs of wings, the forewings and the hind wings. Some insects, like the ladybug, have the forewings are hard and protect the soft hind wings underneath. Insects are invertebrates, which means that they do not have a backbone. Instead, they are protected by a hard exoskeleton. The insect life cycle. Most insects are oviparous, which means that they lay eggs. Most insects lay many eggs at one time. Metamorphosis. All insects go through metamorphosis, which means that they can go through a transformation as they grow into their adult form. This doesn't look the same for all insects. Some insects, like butterflies, go through complete metamorphosis, like what our caterpillars are doing right now. They have a larva stage, which builds a cocoon, in which they change into their adult form. Some insects, like grasshoppers, go through incomplete metamorphosis. This means that they are born looking like miniature adults, but they will shed their exoskeleton several times as they grow. Communication. Some insects have many ways to communicate, including sound, sight, and smell. Not all insects communicate in the same way. Grasshoppers rub their back legs together to create sound vibrations. Fireflies communicate by creating a flashlight with their abdomens. Ants create a scent trail using pheromones to lead other ants to food. Honeybees communicate through dance. See that dance down at the bottom? How silly is that? They do a special dance called the waggle dance to communicate to other bees where flowers are. Insect defense. Insects have many predators, but they also have many different ways to protect themselves. Some insects defend themselves using venomous stingers, like the bee. Predators usually only have to eat one of these insects before they learn to stay away. Some insects use camouflage for protection. The moth is colored so that it blends in with tree bark it perches on. So if you see the moth right up there, it looks kind of like the same like tree bark. So that's what it likes to blend in with that tree bark so that the predators don't see it. The monarch butterfly and the viscery butterfly, some insects use mimicry for protection, which means that they look like another animal that their predators do not want to eat. Viscery butterflies mimic the monarch butterfly because the monarch butterfly tastes bad to other animals. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and go into the Can Have Our page. So if you guys want, you can fill it out right here, or you can fill it out like I am in the Seesaw app. So this is one thing that you guys are going to submit, okay? So thinking about it, let's go to can first. What are some things that insects can do? Some things that insects can do. Well, I already have one up there. Just like you and me, we talk, right? So insects can communicate through sound, smell. All right, another thing that insects can do. Insects, just like the butterfly and the moth, what were they doing? Well, the moth was camouflaging, so we'll add camouflage. They were camouflaging into the tree bark so that way predators can't see them. Do you want to join us? Thank you. And the butterflies, one of them mimics the monarch, so that way, the predator doesn't want to eat them, because monarchs apparently don't taste very good, even though they are pretty. When you see a bug crawling on the ground, I already gave it away. What are they doing? Well, they're crawling, right? So insects can crawl. Insects don't cry. If we were writing about babies, we would say babies cry. Not insects. Insects can, some of them, like the ladybug, also fly. Only some of them, remember, not all of them. All right, and another thing that all insects do, no matter what it is, they all eat. So all insects eat. All right, so those are a few things that insects can do. That's how we can make our sentences for our writing on Wednesday and Friday. Let's move down to have. Let's see. So I already started one. Insects have 6 legs. What's something else that insects have? Well, insects have 3 body parts. The head, the thorax, and the abdomen. So insects have 3 body parts. All right, another thing that insects have. What are those things up on top of their head? Insects have antennae. All right. Insects do have more things, probably like eyes, all of that, but those are the ones that I'm going to add for now. If you guys want to add more, you can do that. All right, and insects are, there's this big word right here, oviparous. Remember, that means that they lay eggs. So insects are oviparous. Insects are also little or small. They're usually little. And I like using that one because it's a snap word. All right, and another thing. Insects are bugs, right? Insects are bugs. Okay, so you guys have a good amount. Again, there are more things that you guys can add, but we're going to go ahead and stick with those ones. So if you want to add more, you can. Make sure you guys check that check mark up here to turn it into me. If you're writing it on this piece of paper, that's fine too. You can take a picture of it by clicking on the camera icon over here. But I found it was easy just to type it right in here and then check that green check mark, and your assignment for writing today is done. So go ahead and fill in your can have our page, and we will be using this on Wednesday and on Friday to create some sentences. So if you need to go back in my video, pause it, rewind it a little bit to help you fill this in. Go ahead and do that, okay? All right, we'll see you on Wednesday to write some sentences.